Hey, welcome to this episode of Guide Therapy. I'm Michael. I share my knowledge of musical gear solutions which are cheaper and better, in my opinion. If you are into music tracker like Dirtywave M8 and Polyend Tracker, you might need to hold up the gas. Tracker is not for everyone. Some love it and some think it's just tedious. So how to tell if you are a tracker head or not? Well, today I want to share you a free and efficient sample-based music tracker to see if you are really into the tracker workflow. Let's go. I really love nostalgia techniques, good-looking old computers, retro game consoles and handhelds, and also music trackers. I have the most famous AB tracker lsdj on all of my open-source handhelds, and I really enjoy playing with them. Making music with trackers just feels like I'm designing and coding a video game, which really makes me proud of myself. But lsdj is not dealing with external samples, so I've always wanted to use my own samples within a tracker workflow. Right now on the market, there are Dirtywave M8 and Polyend Tracker. They are pretty powerful and also have some synths in it. But to be honest, my goal is not replacing my DAW workflow, because the user experience would be a downgrade if I switch to the tracker to make music. I just want to have some extra fun out of my DAW. And since I use GarageBand and all of those free plugins, I definitely wouldn't invest too much money on the music tracker. The Polyend Tracker seems pretty all-in-one, but with that price, I can totally buy a Windows laptop, which is way more powerful than it. And for the Dirtywave M8, it's only a handheld with limited Game Boy-style screen and buttons. You'll need to pair it with an external keyboard and a monitor to get the most out of it. But what's the point of that if I already have a powerful enough laptop, which has such a big screen and so many buttons on it? There should be a cheaper laptop solution out there. And yes, after my researching and testing, I finally got my solution locked down. Milky Tracker, which is free for both Mac and PC. It's a sample-based music tracker, which supports lots of classic tracker instrument module files. You can find a lot of classic synth presets on their website. I already leave you the link in the description, you can go check them out. It also allows you to import your own sample, although it doesn't support MP3. But since I use a free ADSR sample manager, which allows you to drag and drop your sample file onto other software, so I can drag whatever MP3 file from it, and it will automatically convert it into a WAV file, which is really handy. And I also narrow down the most efficient workflow for you, so you won't get lost in it. First, we need to configure our tracker a little bit to maximize the keyboard workflow efficiency. We can go to Settings by clicking Config. Layout tab, turn off the hex count, because I'm so used to 1 to 10, not 1 to A, B, C, D, E. And Fonts tab, switch the pattern editor to large to save some eye strain. And MISC tab, set edit mode to Milky Tracker, so the keyboard shortcut would be in Milky Tracker style, which is more efficient and easy to remember, in my opinion. Now let's see my workflow. Basically, we need to create an instrument first, then drag and drop our sample file into the sample pool of this instrument. We can only trigger one sample in one instrument. If you got your workaround, you can teach me in the comment section. For an instrument, we'd better rename it into something we can recognize later, which will save you a lot of trouble, because everything is not that clear if you make music with a tracker. And now, we can use our QWERTY keyboard to trigger the sample. The imported sample will be laid out chromatically on our QWERTY keyboard, and we can play up to 2.5 octaves purely from our QWERTY keyboard. The Z button is the original sample pitch, and Q is 1 octave up. You can also select different octave range with F1 to F8 button. And since we are in the tracker, we can only play our instrument in monophonic. Then we can create a pattern and start typing our note. I'm using Mac, the function buttons is different with PC. But basically, you just use the Windows key to replace my command key, and use Alt key to replace my option key. We can hit spacebar to switch between pattern mode and the instrument select mode, which comes from the Milky Tracker shortcut mode. I think it's really efficient. And in instrument select mode, we can use up and down to navigate through instrument. In pattern edit mode, we can use up, down, left, right to navigate through different steps. We can also use tab, left option tab, to navigate back and forth between different channels. And we can put our note everywhere. It's not limited to a certain channel. I prefer to leave each instrument on their own channel. It's just easier for me. And we can add up to 32 channels by default. You can also change it to 128 in the settings, but I just don't have that patience for a tracker. Here's an interesting shortcut. In Polyend Tracker, you can set your step jump amount after you input a note. And same here in Milky Tracker. You can change the jump step parameter, which is named under add. When you are in pattern edit mode, you can hit left option, plus and minus. Say if you want to create a 4 on the floor kick, then you can set the add to 4. And then you can keep hitting Z to quickly input your kicks. You can also use this trick to add some polyrhythm in your music. And once you type down all of your notes, you can hit left command and enter to trigger current pattern loop playing. And you can hit ESC to stop. And while your pattern is playing, you can hit spacebar to enter the pattern edit mode and record your notes lively. If you want to delete a note, just navigate to that note and hit function delete. So you will only delete this note and leave other notes in their position. And you also have effect commands like arpeggio, portamento, tremolo, vibrato, etc. You can find the detailed explanation with link in description. Now, say you are satisfied with this pattern and you want to move to the next one. And you still want to use this pattern as the base idea and then evolve from it. You can hit Command A to choose all and Command C to copy. Then click Pattern Plus to switch to next pattern. And then hit Command V to paste everything here. And now you can start your next pattern composing. And once you got all of your patterns done, you also have a sound mode to chain them up. There's a pattern sequence chain on the left up corner. You can chain your patterns here. It's just like arranging your music. And after chaining patterns, you can hit Enter to let it play from start to end. There are some other tricks I want to share with you. We can edit our sample in Milky Tracker. Select the instrument, then hit left command option and S to open the sample editor. We can select the range we want to chop it. We can also loop our sample to simulate a long never-ending note. Although we don't have a proper EQ and filter function here in Milky Tracker, but we can still achieve rough mixing. Just select our instrument and then hit left command option and I to open the instrument editor. And then we can change the volume and pan here, not like the OP1. At least we can change our instrument individually. And when you are done with this project and you want to save it, you can just hit left command shift and S to save it onto your laptop. The file type would be .xm, which includes all of your samples, instruments, patterns, and pattern chain, which is really convenient. And since we are all Dawless jammers now, the Milky Tracker is not a DAW, right? At least we can agree on that. So here's some performance suggestions. We Dawless jammers usually mute and unmute tracks during performance. We can achieve it in Milky Tracker too. Just hit Command Option Z to toggle scopes, and then click on a certain channel scope will instant mute and unmute this channel. Hit Shift and U will instantly unmute every channel. And Dawless jammers also change sequences while playing. We can achieve it by hitting left command L to toggle live mode pattern change, which means after we switch to next pattern, it will finish the current playing one and then switch to the next one, which is perfect if a Dawless jammer is not good at rhythm. And we can use the click to choose the next pattern we want to play in the pattern chain window. And we can also play a few notes while the backing track playing, like a Dawless jammer. By the way, Milky Tracker supports MIDI keyboard too. And with the decoration of flowers and plants, you can make the coolest music tracker Dawless jam for both on YouTube and Instagram without breaking your goddamn bank. So this is the most accessible sample-based music tracker experience you can get. Just use it to make a few tracks, see if you really like the tracker workflow. For me, I'm definitely willing to have some fun with this free tracker. Nothing serious, no one hurts. But if you want me to spend hundreds of dollars on it, oh, I'm sorry, my mom's calling me to go home and have lunch. Bye. Okay, this is my take on free alternatives of Dirtywave M8 and Polyend Tracker. All the free solutions got their link in description. You can also download the demo project file in this video on my Patreon if you want to be the coolest Dawless trimmer. Leave a comment if you have any question. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more future content. Also follow my Instagram and support me through Patreon. I'm Michael, this is Guy Therapy, reminding you that sometimes fun stuff can also be free. See you in the next one. Peace.